All right, listen up. I gotta tell you about something that happened to me at work, a real horror story. The kind that proves there are some downright strange and terrifying things in this world you want to steer clear of. See, I was coming back from one of those out-of-town meetings, driving through the mountains over in Appalachia, when my car gave out. Stranded me right there. And let me tell you, I wasn't alone. Not by a long shot. I don't drive through Appalachia anymore. Not since Talwyn. Those mountains, they always gave me the creeps. Especially after dark. You hear stories, hikers vanishing without a trace. Ghost towns. Forgotten places hidden deep in the hills. Stuff you really don't want filling your head when you're all by yourself, driving those roads in the pitch black. Twice a year, though, I gotta make this trip for a regional sales meeting. And twice a year, I dread it for weeks ahead of time. The meeting itself ain't the worst part. It's just boring corporate stuff. PowerPoint presentations, sales projections, those mandatory team-building exercises everyone hates, held in some conference town in West Virginia. But the drive back? That's what gets me. Hours and hours winding through those mountain roads. I've tried everything to make it better. Music playlists, audiobooks, podcasts, but none of it ever really takes my mind completely off where I am. Some part of me, deep down, is always aware I'm out there. And if my car broke down, if I got stranded, what the heck would I even do? So even listening to stuff on my phone or the radio, I'd catch myself thinking and praying that would never, ever happen. Well, on my most recent trip, last fall, something did happen. It was that time of year when it gets dark early. And wouldn't you know it, the meeting ran late, like it always does. My regional manager just loves hearing himself talk. He kept us an extra hour going over quotas we'd already covered twice. By the time I finally hit the road, the sun was already going down. I'd made this drive a dozen times before. Always breathed a huge sigh of relief when I finally reached the interstate on the other side. I knew the route way too well, unfortunately. All the spots where deer jump out, where the cell phone service gets patchy. But turns out, I didn't know it well enough. Not well enough to know what was really out there. About 2 hours into the drive back, my car started making this sound I'd never heard before. Like a stuttering, coughing noise coming from under the hood. My first thought was I was running out of gas, but the gauge showed I had at least half a tank. Then I wondered if I'd accidentally put in the wrong kind of gas back at the station. The sound got worse. Then the engine light flicked on. Felt like my stomach dropped right out of me. The car started losing power. The gas pedal went all mushy under my foot. Oh God, no, I muttered, pumping the pedal like that would do any good. Not here. Not now. The engine coughed again. This huge, violent shake that rattled the whole car. I managed to wrestle it over to the shoulder just before it died completely. It rolled to a stop next to a guardrail that dropped off into pure, invisible darkness. I just sat there for a second in the sudden quiet, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles hurt. The road was empty both ways. Just a skinny strip of asphalt cutting through thick, dark woods. No streetlights out here. They don't waste electricity on roads this far out. No houses I could see, no friendly porch lights anywhere. No sign of people except the faded yellow lines on the road and some rusted-up mile marker I couldn't even read in the dark. I tried the ignition. Nothing. Just a clicking sound. Tried again. Same thing. The battery was fine. All the lights still worked, but the engine was stone dead. I pulled out my phone. Felt a wave of relief seeing 3 bars. At least something was going right. I called my wife first. She needed to know, and honestly, I just wanted to hear her voice. Hey, hun. She answered on the second ring. I could hear our little girl babbling in the background. That sweet, nonsense sound 3-month-olds make. How'd the meeting go? It was fine, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Listen, I broke down on the road. In the mountains. I'm probably about halfway back. Oh no. Are you okay? What happened? Yeah, I'm okay, I said. Just the car died. Started making a weird noise, then just quit. I'm gonna call a tow truck. Then probably call Brent to see if he can pick me up. Where exactly are you? Maybe I should come get you. No, I said real quick. The thought of her driving all the way out here on these dark roads with the baby? Absolutely not. No, I'll be okay. I'll get a tow and a ride. Don't wait up for me. This might take a while, but I'll be home. You sure? You sound worried. I was worried. Something about sitting out there, surrounded by nothing but dark trees and empty road, was setting off every alarm bell in my head. But I wasn't about to tell her how scared I was. Just frustrated. I'll text you updates. Give Emmy a kiss for me, okay? We took another minute to say goodbye. After we hung up, I felt more alone than ever. I Googled tow services in the area, scrolled through results. Most of them closed for the night. Finally, I found one that advertised 24-hour service. The guy who answered sounded half asleep and not too happy about the call. He asked what mile marker I remembered seeing last. I tried my best to recall, but figured telling him I was about 20 minutes from such and such town might help. He told me it was quite a haul and would take him about an hour and a half to get to me. I told him that's fine. Didn't really have a choice. He told me to keep my hazard lights on and stay with the car. So that's what I did. After I hung up, I thought, an hour and a half alone on this road. Maybe 2 hours. Fantastic. I scrolled down to Brent's contact in my phone. He only lived about 40 minutes away. We'd worked together years ago, and he's one of those guys who drops everything to help a friend. We'd stayed in touch. He's a good guy. I figured he'd be happy to come get me if he was still awake. Would be way faster than the tow truck. I could just call the tow truck driver back and tell him I got a ride. Hey man, you busy? I asked when he picked up. Just watching some television. What's up? You sound weird. Well, you're not gonna believe it. My car broke down out here in the middle of the mountains. Is there any chance you can come get me? I called a tow truck, but I'd rather not have to wait that long. And I stopped talking because I heard something. Footsteps. On leaves. Coming from the other side of my car. The way it sounded, it made me think it was a person walking. There was a person out here with me. I went quiet, straining to listen. The footsteps stopped. Yo man, you still there? Brent's voice came through the phone. Yeah, I whispered. I think someone's outside my car. What? Who would be out there? Brent asked. Good question. We were miles from the nearest town, no houses around. No reason for anyone to be walking along this stretch of road at. I checked the clock. 9:47 at night. I don't know, I whispered. Slowly, I turned my head to look out the passenger window. There stood a man in the dark, only about 3 feet from my car. The sight of him froze my blood solid. He wore torn, filthy overalls that might have been blue once upon a time, but now were just the color of dirt and old stains. No shirt underneath that I could see. His pale chest was visible through the gaps. His feet were bare, which was just crazy. It was like 40 degrees out here. The ground had to be freezing. And his face, well, there was something stretched over it. At first, my brain thought it was a mask, like a Halloween thing. But as my eyes adjusted, I realized what it really was. It was the skinned face of some animal. A hare, I think, though it was hard to tell with how it was stretched tight. The ears hung down on either side of where his human ears should be, and rough holes had been cut for the eyes and mouth. Through those holes, I could see human eyes reflecting the dim light from my dashboard. Eyes that were staring straight at me. He wasn't moving, just standing there, watching me through that horrible mask. He had one arm behind his back and the other hanging down at his side. His chest was rising and falling with big, deep breaths. There is a man, I said to Brent, my voice barely a whisper. Jesus Christ, Brent, he's wearing an animal face. Like a skinned animal face as a mask. He just walked out of the woods. He's just standing there staring at me. What? Are you freaking serious right now? Dead serious. The guy just walked out of the woods. He's just standing there. Okay, lock your doors. Are they locked already? I hit the lock button, even though I was pretty sure they were already locked. The clicks sounded incredibly loud in the silence. The man didn't react. Yeah, they're locked. Good. Maybe he's just... I don't know. Maybe he needs help. Maybe his car broke down too. I almost laughed. It was that kind of nervous, terrified laugh. Brent, he's wearing a freaking skinned rabbit face and no shoes. I don't think he has a car. Right? Jesus. Okay, I'm getting in my car right now. I'm coming to get you. Just stay calm. Don't do anything stupid. I tried to control my breathing. Kept my eyes glued to the man. He hadn't moved an inch since I first saw him. His hand hung at his side, the other still hidden behind his back. That really creeped me out. Man, he's got one hand behind his back, I told Brent. I could hear Brent starting his car through the phone. What do you mean? I mean he's hiding something behind his back, but I can't see what it is. Don't engage with him, just stay in the car. Doors locked, windows up. But something made me do it. Maybe it was stupid, yeah, I had to try. Maybe he was just some local weirdo who needed help. Maybe there was a reasonable explanation. Heck, maybe he came to help me. I rolled the window down just a crack. Hello. I called out. Do you need anything? Are you okay? The man didn't respond, but I could hear him breathing now through the crack in the window. Deep, ragged breaths. But he didn't make any move to speak. Sir, can you hear me? Is there something I could do for you? Nothing. Just that horrible breathing and those unblinking eyes staring at me. I don't think he's okay, I whispered to Brent. He's doing these really deep breaths, and he's not moving. How far are you from that one gas station? You know the one I'm talking about. I think about 15 miles. 20. Too far to walk, especially with this guy there. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm gonna do 90 all the way there. Should be there in 30 minutes at most. Should we call the police? I don't know yet, Brent. Should we wait? Then the man moved. Just slightly. He shifted his weight from one bare foot to the other. The hand that was visible clenched and unclenched. His breathing sounded heavier. He's moving, I reported. Acting really weird. More weird. I think maybe I should just start walking. I don't think I feel safe here. No, man, you're safe inside that car. He can't get into you. But what if he... Click. The sound cut through our conversation like a gunshot. The man had reached out with his visible hand and opened my passenger door. It swung open about 6 inches. How? Did my lock break? Did it not work? I just locked it, double-checked it. He left the door open just that much. Like a message. Like he was telling me he could get in whenever he pleased. He just opened my door. Crap. Man, I thought you locked it. I did. I don't know what's happening. Crap. I'm coming as fast as I can. 25 minutes. Just stay calm. Stay calm. Right. There was a man in a rabbit-skin face mask holding my door handle, something hidden behind his back, and I was supposed to stay calm. What do you think he wants? I asked Brent, but it was more like I was asking myself. The man still hadn't spoken, still barely moved. His breathing was the only sound besides my own panicked heartbeat and Brent's voice giving me updates through the phone. I just passed the creek, still doing 90. Hang in there. We stayed like that for the longest minutes of my life. Me frozen in the driver's seat. Him outside, holding that door handle. At any second, he could just yank it open all the way and dive in at me. It was like some messed up standoff. I kept glancing towards where his other hand was hidden. I needed to know what he was hiding back there. What was it? A knife? A gun? My imagination was going wild. What's happening now? Brent asked. Nothing so far. He's just standing there holding the door. I swear, he's probably on drugs or something. PCP makes people do crazy stuff. Maybe. But the way he acted, so calm, so steady. Like he was in full control. So in control he could make a subtle threat just by holding that door open. I glanced at the man again and nearly dropped my phone. He'd taken his hand off the door handle. He'd raised it up and was holding up 3 fingers. Brent, he's holding 3 fingers up now. Huh? What does that mean? I have no idea. His fingers were dirty, the nails black with grime, but he held them steady. Just 3 fingers raised, like a little kid showing you how old they are. Through the eye holes of that awful mask, he was still staring right at me. I swear to God I hadn't seen him blink yet. We watched each other, like predator and prey, and I wasn't sure which one I was. Then, slowly, he lowered 1 finger. Dang man, he just put 1 down. He's counting down. To what? I don't know, Brent. I don't know. My mind raced. I gripped my own door handle, terrified to move. What was he going to do? Did he have a weapon behind his back? Was he counting down to use it? Was he counting down to give me a chance to run? Or would any sudden move set him off? About another minute crawled by, the longest minute of my life. I watched those 2 fingers like they were a bomb timer, waiting for the next one to drop. The man's breathing got heavier, almost like panting now. And then, the second finger lowered. Brent, he's down to 1. Look, man, I'm almost there. 15 minutes, maybe 12. I'm flying, dude. Running every light, every stop sign. 1 finger left. Pale, dirty, terrible. If I didn't know any better, his breathing didn't sound like panting anymore. It sounded like excitement. And through the mouth hole of the mask, I could see the hint of teeth. Was he smiling? I gotta do something, man. I can't just sit here and wait for whatever. I'm telling you, dude, don't get out of that car. But what if? Then 3 things happened at once. The final finger went down. The phone call instantly dropped, dead silence. And I swear it sounded like the man laughed. Frantically, I looked down at my phone and pressed buttons. Nothing. Like the battery died instantly, even though I knew for a fact it had plenty of charge. That was impossible. Phones don't just die like that. I looked back at the man. I'd never been more sure he was smiling. He began to raise his hand back up. Slowly, deliberately, he brought up his 3 fingers again. "No," I said out loud. "No, no, 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 please, no." He was going to count down again. This time, I had no phone. No Brent as my lifeline. No idea how close help was. I was completely alone with whatever was about to happen. I was trapped. If I ran, where would I go? The woods on either side were pitch black and might be full of his friends. The road stretched empty both ways. No guarantee I'd find help before he caught me. If I tried to get out my side, he could lunge in the open passenger door before I was clear. We'd already seen he could open it. He lowered 1 finger. 2. I had to do something. Anything. Fighting him seemed like the only option. But with what? I looked around desperately. Then I saw it. Sticking out of the pocket in my driver's side door. A forgotten metal tumbler. From when I was trying that 8 cups of water a day kick. I just left it in the car. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. Something hard to swing. Then another finger went down. 1 more left. My heart felt like it was going to explode. This was it. Whatever he'd been counting toward, it was about to happen. I put my hand on my door handle, ready to burst out and grab that tumbler at the same time. Ready for whatever came next. It was the worst plan, but it was all I had. "Please," I said, loud enough for him to hear me through the crack. "Please don't do this. Whatever you're planning to do, please. I have a wife. A newborn daughter at home. She's only 3 months old. Her name is Amelia. We call her Emmy. She just started to smile last week. Real smiles, not just gas. I just want to see them again, please. I'll give you anything. My wallet. My car. Whatever you want. Just please let me go home." The man tilted his head slightly. That awful rabbit face cocked to one side. I was actually shocked he moved. Was he considering my words? The 1 finger stayed up. For a moment, I dared to hope. Did I get through? Was there something human under that mask? His breathing went quiet too. I couldn't see that smile anymore. There was something in his eyes. Recognition? Maybe pity? Then headlights. Bright ones. Sweeping around the bend behind us. The man's head snapped towards the light, so fast it made me jump. In that split second, I looked at the lights too. And when I looked back, all I saw was the man's back as he vanished into the woods. And in the hand he'd hidden behind his back the whole time, something long and dark. I only caught a glimpse. Brent arrived in his beat-up Tahoe just in time. Seeing him, I could have hugged him right then and there. But I couldn't move. I stayed frozen in the car. Before long, Brent was at my window. He had a tire iron in his hand, looking around wildly. "Where's the guy?" I didn't see anyone coming in. I pointed towards the woods. "He ran off when he saw your lights." "Good. All right, we gotta go, man. Get in my car." I fumbled with my seatbelt. "Jesus, man, you're shaking like a leaf. What happened? When the call disconnected, what happened?" I told him everything that happened after the call dropped as we hurried to his car. He believed me. He seemed to feel really bad I'd been out there alone that long. "That, and you never saw clearly what he had behind his back." "Yeah, but just a glimpse. It was long and dark. Could have been anything, really." We didn't wait for the tow truck. We got out of there. Once we were moving, I called the tow truck number again. The same guy answered. I told him I got a ride and he could take my vehicle. I'd come pick it up later, once it was fixed. Obviously. Later, I got a call from the mechanic after they fixed it. Said it was the strangest thing. Looked like my fuel line had been shredded somehow. Asked if I remembered running over anything sharp. I told him I didn't. I truly had no idea how my fuel line could have gotten in that state. I still have to make that drive twice a year. But I leave at dawn now. Make absolutely sure I'm off the mountain before dark. I keep my gas tank full, my phone charged to the max, and a weapon within easy reach. I've tried to get the company to let me do the meetings virtually, but they insist on doing it face to face. So I go, but you better believe I watch those woods the whole darn time. Every shadow, every movement. And if the meeting runs late, if I can't get through those mountains before dark, then I just stay at a hotel. My wife, she's very understanding about that. She doesn't need the details. She just knows.